Welcome, the rare gems. Here's a thought. If life were a giant dodgeball game, Sigma females would be the ones gracefully sidestepping every ball thrown their way, without breaking a sweat or even letting on that they're in the game. They don't wear thick emotional armor, nor do they wall themselves off in some invisible fortress. Instead, they've mastered a more subtle, stealthy form of self-defense, keeping their cool while the world around them is busy spiraling into drama, manipulation, and the kind of heartbreak you'd expect in a bad rom-com. Sigma females don't go out looking for a fight, but they sure as hell don't lose one either. They've got a unique playbook, one that doesn't rely on cheesy pep talks or empty mantras. They don't need to declare themselves strong, independent women every 5 minutes, because their actions do all the talking. While everyone else is wrapped up in the emotional chaos of trying to please, fit in, or navigate the endless games of social dynamics, Sigma females quietly opt out. They stay unhurt because they've figured out how to play a game only they know the rules to. And trust me, it's not what you think. In short, they're the low-key ninjas of emotional survival, gracefully dodging the BS, laughing at the chaos, and somehow always coming out the other side without a scratch. Let's dive into how they do it. Let's get started. Rare gems. For a deeper understanding, I encourage you to watch the video all the way through and drop your thoughts in the comments. Number 1. Turning no into a weaponized boundary. No is one of the most underrated words in the English language, but Sigma females have turned it into an art form. It's not just a casual refusal, it's a finely tuned tool for self-preservation. Sigma females don't throw around no for fun. They wield it with surgical precision. When they say no, it's not about being difficult or playing hard to get. It's about slicing away the clutter, people, obligations, and distractions that don't align with their goals or values. You know how most people feel guilty about saying no? Sigma females don't. They've mastered the ability to protect their time, energy, and peace without batting an eye. It's not personal, it's necessary. They understand that every yes is a commitment, and every commitment drains a little piece of them. So, they reserve those precious yeses for what truly matters, things that actually bring them value, not just temporary feel-good moments or favors they'll regret later. When a Sigma female says no, she does it with purpose. There's no long-winded explanation or apology. It's quick, clean, and to the point. It's about setting a boundary so sharp and clear that the other person knows not to push it. And while the world might try to guilt or manipulate them into compliance, Sigma females simply don't care. No isn't just a word in their vocabulary. It's a weapon that keeps their lives intentional, their energy intact, and their peace unbothered. Number 2, bouncing back without apologies. When Sigma females hit a rough patch, they don't sit around waiting for someone to notice or throw them a pity party. In fact, they don't need anyone's sympathy or approval to get back on their feet. They just get up, dust themselves off, and keep moving. No drama, no over-explaining, and definitely no apologies. Life knocks everyone down, but for Sigma females, bouncing back is just part of the process. It's not an event. They don't post about it, and they certainly don't need to parade their struggles for validation. What's refreshing about them is their absolute refusal to make their comeback about anyone else's feelings. They don't care if people think it's too soon, too fast, or too bold. They rebuild on their own terms, with no explanations owed to anyone. They don't have time to sit around justifying why they're ready to move forward, and they certainly aren't going to tone down their progress to make others feel comfortable. When they rise stronger, sharper, and more focused than ever. It's like life gave them a nudge, and instead of tumbling, they used that momentum to propel themselves even further. No need to ask permission, no need to feel sorry for being stronger than they were before. For Sigma females, resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving unapologetically, leaving anyone who doubted them in the dust, wondering how they did it so effortlessly. Number 3. Creating mental weapons instead of shields. Sigma females don't just sit back and defend themselves from life's challenges, they go on the offensive. Instead of building mental shields to hide behind, they create mental weapons to cut through the nonsense. They know that staying defensive only gets you so far, so they sharpen their minds like a blade, ready to take action when needed. Their wit is quick. Their emotional detachment is calculated, and they see through people's motives like they're reading an open book. Manipulation, not happening. Sigma females are 2 steps ahead before anyone even tries. They're not afraid to strike first either. If someone's trying to play games or pull a fast one, they'll cut it off at the root, no hesitation. This isn't about being harsh or cold for the sake of it, but about survival. Sigma females understand that sometimes offense is the best defense, and waiting around to be hurt or taken advantage of isn't their style. What sets them apart is their deep perception. They notice the little things most people miss, and they use that knowledge like ammunition. While others are still trying to figure out what's going on, the Sigma female already has her strategy mapped out. And she's not waiting for someone to attack first. She's already made her move quietly and efficiently. In a world full of people building walls, Sigma females are out there building the mental equivalent of swords. Sharp, precise, and unafraid to cut ties, ideas, or people that don't serve them. Thank you, Rare Gems, for being a valued subscriber. Your continued support is incredibly important to us and inspires us to keep producing meaningful content. We truly appreciate your engagement and support. Number 4. Mastering the power of mystery. Sigma females know that in a world where everyone overshares, keeping things to yourself is a superpower. They've mastered the art of mystery, and they do it with purpose. The less people know about them, the less power they have to manipulate or control them. Manipulators, gossipers, and nosy people thrive on predictability. They need to know what you're thinking, how you'll react, or what your next move will be. But Sigma females, they don't give them that luxury. They don't feel the need to spill every detail of their lives to anyone who'll listen. In fact, they're perfectly comfortable with letting people wonder, speculate, or even guess wrong. Why? Because controlling the narrative is easier when you're the only one writing it. The less you say, the more people have to work to figure you out. And most of them won't bother because, let's face it, the average person wants easy answers. The beauty of this is that it disarms people without a single confrontation. People can't attack what they don't understand, and they certainly can't predict a move that hasn't been revealed. While everyone else is busy putting their whole life on display, Sigma females are quietly moving through life, only showing what they want when they want. It's not about being secretive for the sake of it. It's about control, plain and simple. And when you control the narrative, you control the power. Number 5. Refusing to play victim. Sigma females don't do the victim thing. It's just not in their nature to sit around feeling sorry for themselves or pointing fingers when life throws them a curveball. While some people might milk their misfortune for attention or sympathy, Sigma females know that's a trap. They understand that once you start playing the victim, you give other people power over your life. Sympathy might feel good in the moment, but it's a short-lived high that doesn't fix anything. Instead, they go straight to problem-solving mode. Got a setback? Fine. How do we fix it? Who cares whose fault it is? They don't have time for endless self-pity or dramatics. They're too busy figuring out how to bounce back and move forward. It's not that they don't feel the pain or frustration. They just don't see the point in staying stuck in it. And here's the kicker. Because they refuse to play the victim, no one can manipulate them through pity. You know the type. People who love to swoop in and rescue you, only to hold it over your head later. Sigma females don't need rescuing. They handle their own problems, thank you very much, which leaves manipulators with no way to get a foothold. By not wallowing in their circumstances or handing out blame, they stay in control of their own narrative. They're not waiting for a savior or permission to rise again. They just do it, quietly and on their own terms. Number 6. Outrunning predictability. Sigma females are a puzzle that's never fully solved, and that's exactly how they like it. Predictability is a weakness, and they know it. If people can guess your next move, they can plan around it, exploit it, or worse, use it against you. Sigma females dodge this by staying fluid, always changing up their habits, responses, and even how they deal with challenges. You think you know how they'll react? Guess again. They're already 10 steps ahead, doing something completely unexpected. This isn't about being erratic for the sake of it, it's strategic. They don't want anyone getting too comfortable thinking they've got them figured out. If someone expects silence, they might get a bold response. If someone assumes they'll lash out, they'll probably meet calm indifference. This ability to constantly switch gears keeps people off balance, making it impossible to land any kind of emotional or psychological hit that sticks. It's almost like playing a mental game of cat and mouse, except the Sigma female is both the cat and the mouse, controlling the entire game. And while everyone else is busy trying to decode them, Sigma females are already onto the next thing, untouched and unbothered. By keeping their cards close to the chest and never showing the same face twice, they ensure that no one has the upper hand. That unpredictability becomes their armor, making it nearly impossible for anyone to land a blow they haven't already anticipated or sidestepped altogether. Number 7. Adopting fluidity, not rigidity. Sigma females know that life doesn't care about your plans, and they don't try to force their way through every situation like a bull in a china shop. Instead, they adopt a fluid approach, knowing that being rigid only leads to cracks. Flexibility is their secret weapon. When life throws them curveballs, they don't stand there bracing for impact. They move with it, adjust, and come out the other side stronger, not broken. It's not that they're pushovers or lack conviction, far from it. Their strength lies in their ability to shift gears without losing who they are. While others get stuck clinging to the way things should be, Sigma females adapt to how things are. This gives them a huge advantage, especially when things get tough. They're not spending energy trying to bend the world to their will. They're focused on thriving in whatever environment they find themselves in. Fluidity allows them to remain unbothered in situations that would drive most people crazy. When plans fall apart, they don't see it as the end of the world. It's just an opportunity to change direction and keep moving. And because they're so adaptable, they're impossible to pin down. Their flexibility makes it hard for others to predict their next move, and even harder to knock them off course. This ability to flow around obstacles rather than smash into them is what keeps Sigma females resilient and unbreakable. They bend, but they never lose their core strength. Number 8. Walking away with their dignity intact. When Sigma females decide to walk away, it's not a dramatic exit or a fiery confrontation. It's more like a quiet but powerful acknowledgement that they deserve better. They don't need to stage a grand finale with fireworks or emotional speeches. Instead, they simply assess the situation and determine if it aligns with their values and self-respect. If it doesn't, they slip away like a shadow. No fanfare, no regrets. They've mastered the art of detachment, and that's where their true strength lies. In a world where everyone seems to seek closure or validation, Sigma females are different. They don't need anyone's approval to know that walking away is the right choice. They refuse to chase after people or situations that drain them or make them feel less than they are. There's an incredible power in that detachment. It allows them to exit gracefully and move forward without the baggage of unresolved issues or lingering doubts. Instead of clinging to what could have been, they take pride in knowing their worth and sticking to it. They might leave a situation behind, but they don't leave a piece of themselves with it. That dignity remains intact. When they walk away, it's with their head held high, leaving behind anything that doesn't serve them. They understand that life is too short to waste on anything that doesn't uplift them, and they refuse to settle for anything less than they deserve. Number 9. Wielding intellectual boundaries. Sigma females have a unique way of managing their mental energy, and it starts with setting firm intellectual boundaries. They're not just selective about who they spend their time with, they're downright strategic. Conversations are like a currency for them. Each one needs to add value to their lives or contribute to their growth. If it doesn't, they won't hesitate to cut it off faster than a bad haircut. They understand that every interaction requires a certain amount of focus and emotional bandwidth, and they refuse to waste either on pointless chatter or toxic exchanges. Small talk? Not their style. They prefer discussions that stimulate their minds and challenge their perspectives. If someone tries to pull them into negativity or drama, you can bet they'll gracefully bow out, leaving the conversation like a magician vanishing into thin air. This practice doesn't just protect their mental energy, it empowers them. When Sigma females engage in meaningful conversations, they thrive. They walk away feeling invigorated, not drained, because they've invested their time in something worthwhile. It's not about being rude. It's about recognizing their limits and valuing their mental space. They know that surrounding themselves with uplifting and thought-provoking individuals creates a positive feedback loop that fuels their growth. In a world full of distractions and emotional vampires, Sigma females stand firm, safeguarding their mental resources and ensuring that every interaction is purposeful. They're the gatekeepers of their own minds, and they know that maintaining those intellectual boundaries is key to thriving in life. Number 10. Outrunning predictability. Sigma females are experts at keeping others on their toes, and they do it by refusing to be predictable. They understand that when people can anticipate your moves, they can exploit your weaknesses. So instead of sticking to a script, they stay fluid, adapting their habits and emotional responses to fit the moment. This isn't about being fickle. It's a calculated strategy to protect themselves from being hurt. Imagine a chess game where every time you think you've figured out your opponent's strategy, they switch it up. That's how Sigma females operate. One day, they might respond to stress with humor, while the next, they handle it with calm assertiveness. This variability keeps people guessing and makes it difficult for anyone to use emotional triggers against them. They're not just reacting, they're observing, learning, and adjusting as needed. By not allowing others to pigeonhole them, they build an emotional fortitude that's tough to breach. Whether it's in relationships, work, or everyday interactions, they can pivot seamlessly, avoiding the pitfalls of predictability. While others might expect them to crumble under pressure or respond in a certain way, they have a repertoire of reactions ready to go. This fluidity not only protects them but also empowers them. It puts them in control, allowing them to dictate the pace and tone of interactions. When faced with conflict or challenges, Sigma females can maneuver with grace, ensuring that any potential blows are either deflected or rendered ineffective. They're living proof that unpredictability is a shield against emotional harm. Number 11. Transcending ego. Sigma females have a unique relationship with their ego. They don't let it dictate their decisions or reactions. While many people fall prey to ego-driven choices, leading to hurt feelings and fragile self-worth, Sigma females approach life from a higher perspective. By stripping away the need for personal validation, they operate from a place of self-assuredness that allows them to see situations clearly without the clouding influence of pride or insecurity. This absence of ego enables them to navigate social dynamics with ease. They can engage in constructive criticism without feeling personally attacked, and they can celebrate others' successes without envy. While most people might take offense when their ideas are challenged, Sigma females see it as an opportunity for growth, allowing them to sidestep the emotional traps that ensnare those driven by ego. When faced with betrayal or disappointment, they're less likely to spiral into self-doubt or bitterness. Instead of wallowing in hurt feelings, they reflect and learn, using each experience as a stepping stone for personal development. Their emotional resilience stems from a deep understanding that external validation isn't necessary for self-worth. They are their own validation. This transcendent approach grants them a sense of peace and strength that others often lack. They don't seek approval, and they don't need to prove themselves to anyone. Because of this, Sigma females are free to pursue their goals and desires authentically, unburdened by the weight of ego, which allows them to move through life with confidence and grace. In a world full of emotional landmines and drama queens, Sigma females navigate life with a refreshing blend of strength and cunning. They're not just surviving, they're thriving by using their mental agility and emotional resilience to stay unhurt. Whether it's wielding their intellectual boundaries like a knight's sword or adapting their responses like a skilled chameleon, they've crafted a lifestyle that puts them in the driver's seat. Instead of letting life's ups and downs knock them flat, they bounce back with the grace of a seasoned gymnast. They know when to walk away from toxic situations, leaving behind a trail of dignity and a few confused faces wondering what just happened. And while everyone else is busy engaging in pointless drama, Sigma females are out there living their best lives, focusing on what truly matters to them. At the end of the day, they understand that being unhurt isn't about avoiding pain altogether. It's about learning how to dance through the chaos without stepping on your own toes. So if you ever find yourself wondering how they do it, just remember, they've mastered the art of keeping their heads high and their egos low. In the grand circus of life, Sigma females aren't just performers. They're the ones directing the show, juggling challenges with a wink and a smile, all while ensuring that the spotlight stays on them and not on the drama. Thank you, Rare Gems, for tuning in. Stay vigilant as always. See you in our next video. God bless you.